Today's video is going to review a little bit of 11.1a, and we're going to talk about 11.1c and 11.1d. 11.1a, we wanted to know the total number of choices, the total number of outcomes. So I'm going to relate this back to sports. Maybe this is the total number of teams that you could make. Permutations is, I'm going to relate it to batting order, the order that a select number of people are going to bat. So the order is important. Combinations would be the number, so it sounds a little bit like outcomes, the total number, but this is of starting squads. So once you use somebody for a certain squad, they can't be chosen again for a different squad. All right, let's talk about this 11.1a, total outcomes. So let's say we're going to have an all-star game, and 14 players are going to be nominated for each position, but we're only talking infield. So there's the first base, second base, shortstop, third base, catcher, and we're going to say that there are 14 options. 14 first basemen were picked. A different 14 second basemen were picked. There are 14 options for shortstop, 14 options for third base, and 14 options for catcher. That's what this means, that 14 players were nominated for each position. And then the cheating method said we could multiply all of these 14s together, and that would tell me my total options, my total number of teams that I could make. So I could have 537,824 different teams with those choices. This is the multiply question. These 14 have nothing to do with these 14. When we were doing the license plate, the number you pick here has nothing to do with the number you pick here. You have 14 choices, 14 choices, 14 choices, because the rule said that they wanted 14 players nominated for each position. All right, let's talk about permutations. Permutations, we have 9 players. We want to know how many ways, how many total ways, so the word total is kind of in there, can you create the batter lineup? So we're lining up these batters. And we can put maybe Joe as a player. Joe could be in the first batter, but maybe Joe is our second batter, or maybe Joe's third. Maybe Frank is first and Joe is second, or Joe is first and Frank is second. So the order that we put them in matters. So we would have 9 choices for the first position, the first batter. But now that we've already picked somebody, we only have 8 choices. And then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and by the time we get down to the last one, there's only 1 person left. We're still going to multiply. That part hasn't changed. But notice what's different. Up here, we had 14 options, 14 options, 14 options. Here, once we use an option, we're down an option. So if I have all 9 options, all 9 players could be first. But if Bob is first, Bob can't be any of these other people. So Bob's out of the running. I only have 8 options. So if this guy is Frank, then Bob and Frank are out. I only have 7 people left. Okay, so we could say that if we multiply all these together, it ends up with this number, 362,880. There are that many different batting orders we could come up with. You'll see it written like this, permutations. We have 9 options and we want to use all 9 options. That's what gets us this. What if I had, let's say I had 13 people on the team, but I only wanted to use 9 of them as batters. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have all 13 as my options for my first batter. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. and we would write multiply in between each of these. So the first number is your maximum. We're starting with 13, so we have 13 as a maximum number of choices. 9 means how many spots do you want to fill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 259,459,200 batting orders if I had 13 people to choose from and I want 9 batters. That's a huge number. You can use your calculator for homework tonight. Obviously, these are too big for us to sit there and do. All right, let's do some questions. Permutation. So my first number is the maximum number. I have 5. I have 10. I have 5. I have 7. My second number is how many total numbers will be in my list. I have 1, 2, 3 numbers in the list. I have 2 numbers in the list, including that 10. I have 5 numbers in that list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have 2 numbers in that list, 1, 2. Fill in everything else, so I've got a 4 and a 3. I've got a 9. I've got a 4, 3, 2, 1, and I've got a 6. It's always multiplied. We're multiplying our numbers together. And final answers. This would be 60, 20 times 3. This would be 90. Let's see, this would be 20 times 6. So that would be 120. This would be 42. So, first number is the number I'm starting with. I have five choices for my first one. I have 10 choices. Starting off with 5 choices, starting with 7 choices. The second number is how many will be in the list, and it's always going down each time. All right, here's your first question to type in. The permutations of 4, 3. So the first question I want to know is, what's the multiplication problem? So, did you type in 4 times 3 times 2? Next, type in the final answer. Did you type in 24? 24 is the final answer. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Your next question is, what is the final answer for P parentheses 10, 4? Permutations if you start with 10 and have 4 options. Final answer. The final answer was 5,040. All right, our last lesson was the one about combinations. In combinations, the order doesn't matter. In a batting order, it matters who bats first and who bats second. Let's say I have an ice cream cone. Does it really matter which flavor is on top, middle, and bottom? If I'm asking for how many combinations of ice cream cones can I make? So we want to eliminate anything that's a repeat. We want to find all the different permutations, but then we want to take out repeats. I think I'll save this lesson for in class, but I kind of just wanted to explain it a little bit. Combinations, order doesn't matter. Permutations, order does matter. Just to make sure you're watching till the end, here's your last question. In which one does order matter? Hope you said permutations.